We got married. We was married for 2 years, and we had our first boy in Germany. He was in the service in Special Troops in Heidelberg, Germany. And then we had 3 other children. My oldest is Brian, the next is Candy, and then there's Maya and Noah, and then our little one, Amy. We had 4 children and I wanted more, but we figured we'd do it a little easier. We decided to go into foster care in 1974. We've had about over 80 children that we've taken care of. We had foster babies in our home, and we had our own children, and there was, I think, 2 grandchildren living with us. And we got the phone call one afternoon, and they wanted us to take a baby without arms or legs. And without a doubt I said yes. But I got to call my husband. He was having tires put on his truck, and when I called him, and he says, "Now what?" And I said, "There's a baby at the hospital." And he says, "Okay." And I said, "Well, can you come right away?" And I said, "But there's a problem with her." I said, "She doesn't have arms or legs." And he said, "Oh, how are we going to do that? What are we going to do with her?" And I says, "We'll manage." And when we went down and they took me in to see her, they undressed her. And I just knew when I looked at her, I said, "Oh boy, I'm going to cry." Whenever I looked at her, well, when I hung up the phone, they said there was a baby, and I said, we'd be there. And when I hung up the phone, the name came to me, Amy, and I knew she was ours even before I seen her. And when I went in and looked at her, and I said, "So what? We're taking her," and brought her home, and I was okay. I didn't even cry when I looked at her. I didn't cry all that day. The next morning when I went to bath her, and I took her undershirt, and I always put my hand through the undershirt to bring their little arms out. She didn't have any. And that's when I had my Waterloo. It broke. And I said, "That's it." I was over it. But I wasn't. I would sit at night, he'd be out on the road, and I would be sitting there giving her her last bottle, and I'd say, "Why, God, why didn't she just have one arm? Why all of this?" And I happened to look down, and she was looking up at me with them eyes of hers like, "What are you doing to me?" The tears were dropping on her face, and I said, "Okay, God," I said, "this is the last. I'm not going to cry no more over her." I said, "We're going into a covenant. You show me how to raise her, and I'll do my best." And I said, "I asked for one thing, though. I want her to have arms of some kind, and I want her to be able to walk." And that's when the journey started. He invented her first arms, cut a football in half, and taped straws on it, and she used to sit and batter toys around her. And then they didn't know how to get her up to walk, and he invented her a walker. And she took off from there and walked, and then we seen legs, duck legs I call them. And they put her in them, and she would waddle back and forth, and she got the swing of it. And then the one day she said to him, "I want to walk." And he said, "Well, let me go get your legs." And she said, "I walk." And he put her on the floor, and she took off. We almost had to have a high school band in with yelling and cheering.
I have the best parents in the world. They take the best care of me and are there for me with everything that I could ever need. My childhood was the same as any other kid, I think. My siblings didn't treat me any differently than each other, between the rest of them. They did all kinds of things with me. I played football with them one time. I was the football. My mom said that's fine as long as you don't spike her. I'm such a Penguins fan that I'm a season ticket holder. I've been a season ticket holder for about 4 years. This is my 4th year. My team is awesome. My favorite player used to be Johan Hedberg. so they left. Now it's Sidney Crosby and Malkin.
She used to draw an awful lot, but now she's into the work of working with pictures, cutting out pictures, holding the X-Acto knife in her mouth, and then layering the pictures.
You cut out each piece of a picture, and you layer each piece on top of one another with silicone to create a 3D effect, and then you put it in a shadow box. Logic, come. Come, cover. Come on, cover. Good girl, back. Go back. Go, go, go. Launch it back. Go, go, go. Launch it back. Good girl.
Now that Amy is older, I see her horizon is unlimited, really. She's interested in artwork, like going to learn different techniques in the artwork. Whatever she sets her mind to, Amy will do it. I mean, the way she works now is amazing. But whenever she would have some kind of new arms, I think that there would be just no limit to her of the things that she could do.
I've been seen by a prosthetic specialist, and the technology is out there for me to have working elbows, working wrists, and working fingers, but because of the money issue, it's just not an option right now. I'm hoping that the arms would make me more independent, and so that my mom or my dad wouldn't have to do so much for me. They do so much for me already, that anything I can do for myself, you know, I'd like to do. I do everything that everybody else does, but I just do it differently. I try it. If it doesn't work, I try another way until I get it.